This is Adam DC and welcome to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Game Network. Today's card profile is going to be on Mind Control. Now what Mind Control does is take control of one monster your opponent controls until the end phase. It cannot declare an attack or be tributed. So real simple, this card is spell speed 1, just a spell, can't chain it, takes your opponent's monster. Now the purpose this card is going to serve in this current format is, it actually has a lot of uses. First being is that because two major decks that you are running against are going to be, Dragon Rulers and any variant thereof. Dragon Rulers, Dragoonity Rulers, Dandy Dragons, Plant Dragons, whatever. And then people are still playing Water, so Mermails. Now, what you can do with Mind Control, if you're playing against either one of these decks and using one of these decks, is you take your opponent's level 7 when they summon it, and that's going to give you access to your rank 7 Exceeds really easily. And then if you're, if you happen to have more specific cards on the field, like you have a Megalo and you take your opponent's title, you can even make a Abyss Gaios. And then people are also running Gores, which is a level 7. And then if you're playing the Blackwing player, he's running Dat. So that's also another level 7. If you are running a deck that utilizes rank 7 Exceeds, you're going to have a lot of targets to take to make your plays even more successful. So you're going to decrease your opponent's board by 1, and it's going to help you make a pretty good monster. Now speaking of the rank 7s, you've got Dracosac and Big Eye. These are the two you're probably going to see the most, okay? You might see the Master of Blades, and in this scenario wouldn't work because you cannot target him. But you can mind control your opponent's Big Eye or their Dracosac and then use their effects against them because mind control does not limit the use of their effects. So you can take your opponent's Big Eye and then use Big Eye to permanently take control of your opponent's monster, which is pretty neat. And then you can take your opponent's Dracosac. This one's really cool. You use your opponent's Dracosac to detach, so it generates 2 tokens, and then you use Dracosac's effect to tribute himself to destroy a monster or a card your opponent controls. Now another deck you're going to be running up against this format is the Dragoonity. So if you're playing against Dragoonity, you can always just mind control their monster to get it off the board to clear the field so you can make a direct attack. Or, if you're playing dragons of some sort, there's a good chance they will have made Adam. Now if you can take their Adam, you can use Adam's effect to detach to special summon a dragon from your deck. So you could grab Red MD, which will allow you another special summon. You can grab any of the Dragon Rulers, so you can easily make one of your rank 7s or sink into whatever you want to. Now, these cards are also good targets too to take if you want to use like a level 1 tuner and make a Black Rose or anything like that. Another good use for Mind Control is you're going to be able to get around cards that negate destruction. So if your opponent has a Stardust or a Shooting Star and you have a Dark Hole, and that's the only way you're going to be able to get around these cards, you can Mind Control and then you can just Dark Hole the board, and that's going to get rid of their monster for you. Or it's just going to get them off the board and let you utilize them in a different way, or open them up for a direct attack. But this is one good card that's a great way to get around cards that negate destruction. Another really cool use I like for this is if your opponent has a Utopia, you can always mind control the Utopia and then put Utopia Ray on top of them. Because the only limitation on mind control is that the card cannot be tributed. But you can still do a lot with that monster even though you can't tribute it. So you could always take their Utopia, put Utopia Ray on top of it, and you just got a permanent 2500 attack monster. Now if you're playing dragons and you're running Red MD in the deck, you can mind control their dragon and you can banish their dragon to summon Red MD, because again that's not tributing. So you're getting a Red MD on board by using their monster and clearing a monster off their board. Scrap Dragon, or any effect similar to this. Because Scrap Dragon doesn't tribute, he destroys. So you mind control their monster if you have a Scrap Dragon on board, and then you can use Scrap Dragon's effect, target their monster, and target one card they control and destroy both. So you just took 2 cards off their field with Scrap Dragon. One of the most generic uses for this card is, of course, for the Synchro Summon. So you can either take their monster and sync with a tuner, or you can take their monster if it is a tuner and use it to your advantage to sync into one of your own Synchro monsters. And then another option you have is if your opponent has a face-down monster and you don't know what it is, you can mind control it, and then you can look at it. You don't even necessarily have to flip it to get around potential, flip effects like Raikou that you would be worried about. So yeah, that's Mind Control. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.